Why, hello, everyone. Hello. If you don't know this voice by now, then why are you listening to this podcast on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, or Podbean, or watching the YouTube video on YouTube? What is up, guys? It is James, aka Jimmy Pancakes 20, back here to do a new video / podcast for you. And this is going to be a very nice one because we have our official third Maze announcement, which I'm really excited about because this one, if you have seen our speculations videos with the speculation maps, we talked about this one that we said it was going to maybe be Monsteruos, something to do with Latin American monsters. Like, we were guessing it was going to maybe be something with Islands of Dolls or some other Mexican legend. Well, we were right on this, and we'll get to the maze in just a moment. But of course, a lot of people wanted to know, James, what happened to you for like 2 weeks? Well, I had to take some personal time off YouTube due to some personal stuff, which I'm not going to get into, but I'm just going to say that everything is good now, and all the personal stuff is taken care of, and I can now focus back on YouTube videos and podcasting. So a lot of videos are going to be coming out that I promised you guys. I have a ton of videos that I filmed that I'm still editing and stuff, so slowly videos will be coming out as fast as they can when I can get to them. And especially those Not Scary Farm 2024 review videos will be coming out as soon as possible. So, just wanted to let you know. So now before we get into the maze and stuff, of course, my co-host, you know her, you love her, she's back doing this video / podcast with me, and she can't wait to talk about this maze either. My co-host, my mom, Marsha. So, Mom, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
So, Mom, we were right on the money with our speculation maps. But I don't know if it's going to be Islands of the Dolls because really, when this maze was announced, John Murray didn't really share too much details. So, I'm just going to say if we are taking a guess, if we're taking guess of what monsters we think, we could be right, we could be wrong until we have more confirmation on these monsters, because he didn't really say what characters he's pulling from. So just want to get that out of the way that everything that we're saying in this video, we're just speculating based on the information that we have and what we're seeing in these photos that I'm going to share with you. So, Mom, before we announce what the maze was, anything else to say?
I'm very excited about this maze, but I can't wait to see it. That's all I have to say right now.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Halloween Hornets Hollywood announced their third official maze announcement. Now, I want to make this out in front. Yes, if everyone knows that during the IGN Live event that happened in LA, they interviewed Mr. John Murdy and someone from Orlando, and they did confirm that Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be a maze. I want to tell everyone, because everyone is speculating that Five Nights at Freddy's is going to go in Soundstage 15. I want to let everyone know that either John Murdy himself or anyone from Universal has confirmed where this maze is going to be. So, again, we do have official that Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be a maze, but we don't have an official maze location. So, yes, technically we have 4 mazes that were announced, but
we don't know where Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be.
So we only have 3 mazes that have
confirmed locations.
So I just wanted to get that out of the way because everyone's is asking about Five Nights at Freddy's. So as I said yesterday, Universal announced their third official maze announcement with a confirmed location that John Murray confirmed on Twitter. And ladies and gentlemen, that maze is Monsteruos 3. So, but I see a title change in this one. It's not called Monsters of Latin America. It's called The Ghost of Latin America. So, your thoughts on that name change first?
Ooh, interesting, because it's usually the other names, those 2 years ago.
Monsters of Latin
America. But I kind of like the name change. Something different.
Okay.
What about you?
I enjoy. I'm like, okay, I understand the name change, but is this really the last year of this, or is this a new one that he's saying? Because he makes a joke on Twitter and he didn't really confirm or deny this. So we'll get to that tweet in just a moment. So I'm not sure. I mean, this is the third Monsteruos, but is this really the last one?
We do not know.
We don't know. So just looking at this photo, and I'm going to strive for people that are listening to the podcast. You have three females. You have one that has a veil on top of her head. You have one that has...
It looks like a horse head.
A horse head, and then you have one that kind of looks like a female version of El Cucuy. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, you're right, James. It does look like El Cucuy.
But in female form.
In female form.
Okay, so at this point, I really can't speculate, but I mean, if I had to take a guess, maybe one of them I can maybe confirm, maybe is La Llorona, because if you guys know the history of La Llorona, we had a scare zone in 2010 that was on the old Western Street. Then for 2 years, we had La Llorona Maze behind Shrek 4D before it became Kung Fu Panda. Then in 2013, the first year I ever went to Orlando, they did La Llorona there, which was a more darker version. So if La Llorona is coming back, I think that might be one of the female monsters that we're going to see. The other two, I cannot speculate. I mean, maybe we might see maybe a female version of El Cucuy, but I'm not sure. But I think one of them could be La Llorona. Yeah. So, let's get to the tweets. So, as you guys know, John Murray lives in Ireland. And when this maze was announced in the United States, he was on his way to a concert with his girls. And maybe his wife too, I'm not sure on that. But he did say, he said, okay, still in a car and about to get on the train. So I'm going to try to give some details about today's announcement. So I just want to let you guys know we are filming this video on 6/28/2025. This maze was announced yesterday, Friday, 6/27. So this is a day late. So these tweets that I'm reading are from yesterday, not today. So he said today's announcement. So this was on the 27th. He tweeted this stuff out. About today's announcement that for the final act of the trilogy, we started back in 2023. Now, he did put something in quotes, which I'm not sure if this is a joke or if this is serious. Unless I pulled a classic horror movie move and made another sequel. So yes. So could this be a new sequel to the Monsteruos Legends, or is this going to be the final one?
I'm stumped on that one. I hope it's not the last one.
Right.
Because I really like the Montrose trilogy.
Because he said this is a trilogy, and trilogy means there's only 3 of them. Unless this is a new start and he's just tricking us. I don't know at this point.
I think he's tricking us because everybody loves the Latin America monsters.
Right.
I do too.
But everyone wants to have new mazes.
Right.
So I don't know. And then the last thing he said on this, located in the Persian courtyard. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, the monsters of Latin America are confirmed in
the Persian courtyard.
So the next tweet that he said, Monsteruos has always been intended to be a trilogy. So again, a trilogy means 3 movies. That's it, or more. It's three of the same thing or more. But usually it's three, and that's it. The directions I gave my production designer every year for the facade is like we're panning the camera to focus on a different part of the cemetery every year. And yes, you will see a new part of the cemetery coming together. Yes, I can see a new part of the cemetery coming together now. So, what he was saying in this tweet is every single year for Monsteruos, there's the
graveyard.
The graveyard and also the mausoleum. That's the word I was looking for. I went blank for a moment. The mausoleum is usually the entrance to this maze. And then there's always a graveyard.
In the front.
And there's always a character called the grave
digger.
No, the caretaker.
Caretaker, yeah.
Caretaker. And he always meets you. Now, he did confirm that the graveyard... The grave digger or caretaker, people sometimes call it both ways. So he said, the cemetery of the lost, that's the cemetery out in front that you're entering, / mausoleum, is where all the victims of the Monsteruos are buried, but also it's also a supernatural portal into their worlds. This time we will take you to Mexico. So the reason why I said La Llorona is going to come back is because this is a Mexican legend. So I think one of the female monsters that we're going to see this year is going to be La Llorona. But, as I said, this is all speculation until it's confirmed by John Murdy or someone from Universal. Central America, I have no idea what legend could that be. And South America, Mongrel, the caretaker, and I don't know if I'm saying his name right, so please forgive me, guys, is back again, but this time you will meet his pet. So, yes, we are going to have the caretaker / grave digger back this year, but we're also going to meet his pet. So that means we're going to see his pet in the front? Are we going to see him during the maze? Are we going to see him at the ending of the maze? Or is he going to be in the scare zone? I have no idea. This is puzzling me. So I don't know where we're going to see his pet. But usually you see him at the very front, and you sometimes see him at the end of the maze. So I don't
know what the pet's going to be. I'm thinking like one of the characters for his pets.
I have no idea.
I'm trying to figure that one out. I don't know.
But John Murray threw us for a loop for that one. So, moving on. I love the opportunity to bring these stories from Latin America to life, working closely with my colleagues at USH. That stands for Universal Studios Hollywood, in case anyone wants to know, to make sure that we get every detail right. But the credit for this inspiration lies within you, my boys and girls, who first brought them to my attention years ago. So, when he says years ago, as we did mention, the first time they ever did anything with Mexican legends was La Llorona. So
her own maze was there.
It was first a scare zone, then for 2 years it was a maze. And then, as I said, in 2013, Orlando did their own version of La Llorona. So you can kind of see where
the pattern's going.
So it's because of us, the fans, that wanted this. He's giving credit to us.
Right.
So now this is the important thing. So every year that they have done, they've done Monsteruos. I also forgot to mention that also in 2022, La Llorona came back for a maze as well. Do you remember that? So
I remember that, yeah.
So La Llorona was there 3 years for a maze. In 2011, 2012, and then after 10 years, they brought her back in 2022.
Right, I remember that.
In the Persian courtyard.
Yes.
Okay? Now this I'm really happy about because I'm just going to explain this. Recently, Universal has been trying to do an all-female mazes, and they started that with, of course, La Llorona. Then it was the Bride of Frankenstein. Then last year, Universal Monsters was Bloodline, where it was the bride and those female characters again. Yeah. So this year, for Monsteruos, it's going to be 3 female main characters, and we're probably going to have some male characters as well, but the 3 monsters that you're going to see are all going to be based off female Mexican legends. I'm proud that this house is going to focus on 3 female characters or legends. When I was a kid, female representation in horror were mostly girls running and screaming from the killer. The horror icons were all dudes. Now it's time for you who were running and screaming from these female monsters. So basically this is going to be another heavy female maze, like they did for Bride of Frankenstein, like they did for La Llorona, those 3 years that they brought.
And the Eternal Bloodline.
And then Eternal Bloodline as well. So I'm liking that Universal is doing this.
I'm very proud of them for doing this.
Yes. And that's everything that John Murray said about this maze. So we didn't confirm any of the legends or anything. Nothing.
But I think one of them is going to be La Llorona because of Mexico.
Yeah. And then the Central America and South America, I have no idea. Yeah.
I'm stumped on those two.
Okay, so now I want to give a shout out to some people that I follow. Five Fires. I sometimes use clip of his construction videos. Another one that I recently started following is TLEV Media, and basically they do Horror Nights updates and stuff like that. So they were recently in the park a couple of days ago, and they were doing some construction videos, and so I took screenshots from their video um, to um, to show. So basically, this is basically the mausoleum that we're talking about. And then usually the grave is like right here, and then usually in the center is where the entrance is. And then here's a better shot of the mausoleum. So I don't know if the mausoleum is going to look the same like we had the last 2 years, or if it's going to be completely different. What? So, we know that we enter through a mausoleum. That's what it's been, but we could totally be wrong. It could be something else this year. But the past 2 years, it's always been the mausoleum. I may be surprised if it's something else this year, but because it looks exactly the same like the last 2 years.
But John Murdy might surprise us, James. You never know.
You never know. So that is pretty much everything that we have for this maze. Once we get more details on any of the mazes, and so I wanted to let you guys know that I'm looking forward to the lineup. We have 4 mazes that were confirmed, but one of them we don't have the location for, but the other 3 we do. The 3 mazes that we have confirmed locations are Fallout. That's going to be based off the TV show that's going to go in the old Walking Dead attraction building or the UBE building. We have Monsteruos. That's going to be in Persian Courtyard. And we have Jason Universe. That's going to be behind the Mummy. And then everyone is speculating, and it's not confirmed yet, that Five Nights at Freddy's is going to go in Soundstage 15. So, that's what we have for now. And the only other mazes that have to be announced is whatever's going to be behind Jurassic World and the 2 mazes on the H lot. And then the Terror Tram, and then the Scare Zones, as well as the 2 shows. That's all that's left to be announced.
Are you missing one behind the Transformers, or?
Oh, and then also the one behind Transformers. Yeah. Sorry. So
I was thinking about that one. So
yeah. So the one behind Transformers, the one in Soundstage 15, and the 2 ones for the H slots are the last mazes that have to be announced.
And the Terror Tram and the 2 shows.
And the Scare Zones.
Yes.
Yes. So that's all we have that we're waiting for. So, guys, let us know what you think about this maze. Are you happy it's coming back? Are you not happy it's coming back? What do you think? I can't wait to go through this maze. And unfortunately, I did not get to experience Monsteruos 2 going through it live, but I did see it through video, and I enjoyed it through video because, as you guys know, opening night of Horror Nights last year was horrible. It was one of the hottest days, and a lot of people left early because they couldn't handle it. So this year we're going to change. We're going to definitely go multiple nights to Horror Nights this year, and we're definitely going to experience all the mazes. So yeah. So, Mom, your final thoughts before we wrap up this video /podcast.
I'm excited about this maze. I'm glad it's an all-female cast. Lana Rona always scares me in her mazes, so she'll probably scare me again. And the other two are probably going to scare me too.
Whatever they are.
Whatever they are. So I'm really excited about this maze.
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about it too, and I can't wait to get more details of what the actual characters are. Yes. So you can follow my co-host, my mom Marsha, on her social media sites. She's on X, that's formerly known as Twitter, and on Instagram. And then you guys can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Facebook X, that used to be known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then I also have recently started sharing stuff on the post tab on YouTube. So if there's any videos that are delayed or videos are coming out or just anything that I'm doing, that's where I share all the information on all of my social media sites, so you guys can get the latest updates as well as on the post tab on YouTube as well. So that is it. We want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, or whenever you're watching this YouTube video on YouTube, or listening to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Podbean. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you for the next videos coming soon.